Hello everyone, this is Father Marco again. I think this video is going out on a Friday afternoon just before the weekend, so the weekend is close. That's a reason to be joyful. So all you need to do is fast forward this video and the weekend is there. No, or listen to me just for a few minutes. So last time I just introduced myself a bit. And then what I want to do, I think for this video and then maybe for a few videos afterwards, is just to look at the creed. Now, for those of you who go to Mass on Sundays, you'll know that the creed is something that we say, that we profess each Sunday at Mass. And it can seem a bit boring. It's usually a time when, I know for me, the temptation is just to kind of switch off and have a bit of a brain rest. But actually, I think the creed is very important, and I think there's a lot in there. So this video and perhaps a few other videos will just try to unpack a bit about the creed. So the first line of the creed is, I believe in God. And that phrase is important because it is hard for us really to say, I believe in God. And I think especially for young people, I mean, how many of your friends have you just told them that you believe in God? Maybe not too many. I know for me, I certainly didn't tell very many people when I did believe in God, and neither did my friends. So I remember one time I was in year 8 and a friend of mine invited me over to his house. It was a Friday night and really loved staying over at other people's houses. Anyway, it came to the end of Saturday and it was time for me to go home to my own house, and that's kind of a bit sad. Anyway, I asked my friend what he was doing the next day, and my friend said that he was going to church, and I was amazed because I'd known him for a year and a half and he had never mentioned that he was Christian before. So I was like, oh, okay, you're going to church, great. He's like, yeah, he said, I'm actually a reader at the church. I was like, oh, wow, yeah, great, good for you. He was like, yeah, but don't tell anyone at school. And I was like, yeah, of course I'm not going to tell anyone. Why would I do that to you? So he kept his faith quiet, and certainly I didn't tell anyone. Anyway, he asked me, he said, he said, are you Christian? Are you Catholic? I'm like, yeah, I'm Christian. Am I Catholic? I don't know. He's like, yeah, are you Roman Catholic? I said, I think I'm Catholic. I don't know if I'm a Roman Catholic. Anyway, I had no idea. So I went back that day and I asked my mum, I said, Mum, by the way, am I Catholic? She's like, yeah, of course you're Catholic. I'm disappointed that at the age of 12 I didn't know what religion I was. I was like, oh, right, okay, great. So I go back to my friend on Monday and I said, oh yeah, by the way, I am a Catholic. And he's like, oh, good, great, yeah, we're the same. He said, so there are actually Roman Catholic prayers. My school was a Church of England school. But he said, yeah, there are Roman Catholic prayers on a Wednesday. We do it instead of morning assembly. He said, do you want to come? And I said, well, at least I thought, don't really want to go. But it means skipping the normal morning assembly, so that was kind of cool. Anyway, I wasn't too keen, but I said, yeah, okay. He's like, yeah, don't worry, we'll go together. And so we went together on Wednesday mornings to Roman Catholic prayers. And I just remember that the Roman Catholic prayers, obviously assembly was in the main hall and Roman Catholic prayers was in the library. I remember going to the library and just like hiding my face, hoping that nobody would see me going to Roman Catholic prayers. And that's how it was for the rest of my school. Yeah, I didn't always go to Roman Catholic prayers, but when I did, number one objective was to make sure nobody knew that you went to Roman Catholic prayers. And in fact, a lot of people in the school didn't even realize there was such a thing as Roman Catholic prayers. That's how much we just wanted to hide our faith and not tell anybody that we believed in God. And I think that's kind of normal. At the same time, belief in God really is vitally important. It is, in a sense, the most important question of our lives. Because if you're a Christian and you believe in God, it does change everything. And I think that's probably true for a lot of religions as well. For Christians, to believe in God means that you know the meaning of life. That big question, what is the meaning of life. As a Christian, that's sorted for us because we know that God is love. And so that question, what is the meaning of life? For us Christians, it's easy. It's about love. It's about love, simple as that. The meaning of my life is to love God and to love others. That's what Jesus said when they asked him, which was the greatest of the commandments? He said, all those commandments that you find in the Old Testament, he said, can summarize them in 2 points. Love God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. And as we think about exams, and I know that for a lot of people, this time of year is very difficult because there are exams or there aren't exams. We don't really know what it's going to look like. It's natural to think about that, and I pray that everything goes well for everyone and that you don't kind of feel too worried. But really, when we really think about the big picture and the big questions, there's only really one exam that matters, and that's the exam of life. How our life will get assessed, when we on our final day, on this earth, when we look back, we want to know, has my life been good or not? And please God, if we get to heaven, I think there'll only be one question, and it is, in your life, have you loved? In the exam of life, there's only one question: have you loved? Have you loved God, and have you loved your neighbor? And if we can say that, yeah, my whole life, that's all I've really tried to do, to love my family, love my friends, do my work well so that I'm loving society, then that's all we've got to do. So that kind of makes life a bit more simple, really. And so we can ask ourselves, does that fact that God is love, that I believe in a God who is love, does it change my whole life? Just to quickly quote you from one person, he's called Charles de Foucault. He was a crazy guy, really. He was actually expelled from school. He inherited a lot of money so he could go to parties and used to drink. Anyway, eventually he became a Christian hermit. And he said this, he said, after I discovered that there is a God, after he believed in God, he said, it was impossible for me not to live for him alone. It was impossible for me not to live for him alone. And that comes from the UCAT, which is a great book if you've not come across it. So, are we living with that in mind? Are we living with the idea that I believe in a God who is love? Am I trying each day to love everyone around me? So, hope you have a good weekend. Love your family, love your friends, love God, and everything will be all right. So have a great weekend and see you maybe next week. God bless.